Okay, guys, Trump killed it last night. And this isn't just my biased opinion. It shows in the polls. 97% of Republicans approved of the speech. 30% of Democrats, which I think is kind of a high number, approved of the speech. But the important number is 82% of independents approved of the speech. Now, I think it was kind of long and drawn out. I don't remember it being that long last year. But Trump said a lot of things that resonates with the majority of the American public, which is a good sign that the radical left is losing. Okay, he talked about everything from border security to health care to the economy. He even touched on late-term abortion. The Democrats, however, as we all expected, were going to have a not so favorable reaction when he brought up abortion. So let's first talk about how they were dressed in all white. This is not a good look for them. This is bad optics, especially on a week where the governor of Virginia got caught dressed in either KKK and blackface, we still don't know, and the Democratic Party started the Ku Klux Klan. It just wasn't a good look, so the meme economy is very strong right now. It's great, loved it. Now, Nancy Pelosi, everybody was watching her. I was looking at her almost as much as I was looking at Trump just to see what her reaction was. At one point, she was looking down, looked like she was reading something. I didn't know what that was about, but then she stood up at one point and was like, sarcastically clapping. Like, I took that as she wanted Trump to know, yeah, I'm clapping for you, just so you know. I'm not back here like holding up rabbit ears. But she still was pathetic and childish. That's not a good look coming from the Speaker of the House, especially when day after day they talk about how Trump's a child, he's a kid. Look what Nancy Pelosi's doing. I loved whoever the cameraman was. That was just stunning. He zoomed over to the right people at the right time to get the best reactions possible. For example, when Trump brought up socialism and they zoomed in on Bernie and he's like, the great quote, America will never be a socialist country. I love that he got a thunderous applause for that. The American people, we're not feeling socialism. We see what it's done across the world. We see what it's done to Venezuela most recently. People don't want socialism. So Trump bringing that up is great. Also, Ocasio-Cortez, she wouldn't stand when he mentioned something about ICE saving a bunch of kids from sex trafficking. She had the most resting bitch face out of all the Democrats last night. Well, Kamala Harris was kind of up there too. You can't make this stuff up. The Democrats are so negative. They resist this president so much that they couldn't stand and applaud things that everyone should be on board with. Things that are just not political at all. A lot of statements Trump made last night were nonpartisan, which was perfect because we want to be unified. We don't want to be as divided as we have been. They love to say that Trump is the one dividing the country, but when Democrats and AOC and Kamala Harris and Bernie, when they make those kinds of faces and have those kinds of reactions when the president says something that's positive, that shows that they don't want to unify the country. They want to focus on their hatred for the president. Same thing with when Trump talked about, how many women are in Congress now, how many women are employed. It took a while before they could actually react positively. It didn't look good for the Black Caucus last year when Trump said African American unemployment was at the lowest ever recorded, and they just sat there like this. And it's not a good look. How are we supposed to believe that you care about our well-being instead of your own party? Another thing Trump said, it's good when America wins. You should be celebrating American wins, not party wins. See, he is proving time and time again that he is the correct president for this country, and I stand behind him firmly after that State of the Union address. In my mind, there's no doubt, there's zero doubt that this man will be reelected and he's going to continue improving this country. Now, let's talk about Stacey Abrams and her pathetic NyQuil equivalent rebuttal speech. First of all, it wasn't even a true rebuttal because there's nothing you could rebuttal to begin with. But she didn't actually even rebuttal against anything Trump said. All she talked about was, oh, the government shutdown and all these workers, and when we come together, we can do this and that and the third. It's like, okay, Trump didn't say that we can't do that. Trump didn't say we can't be unified. So what are you talking about? And why are we hearing about your story? It was like going from filet mignon to bologna, listening to Trump and then listening to Stacey Abrams. It didn't make any sense why they put her up there anyway. She's not even in office. She doesn't hold any positions. She was just a sacrificial lamb, because last year Joe Kennedy, he got egg on his face and there were memes about him. So they just put her up there because they didn't want to put a Nancy Pelosi, a Chuck Schumer, an AOC, or anybody else. They used her as a sacrificial lamb. That's just my opinion. Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters, the irony of this woman, she runs one of the worst, most dangerous, impoverished, violent districts in the United States, and she had the nerve to go tell people not to watch the State of the Union address because Trump was just going to be full of lies and yada, yada, yada. She might be the most deranged of them all. There's so many sound bites of this woman just saying the most outlandish things, but how dare she try to convince her constituents not to listen to the president when he is saying things that are positive and uplifting that will help them. This is how you know that they have dumbed down their constituents. Anybody that supports a politician like a Maxine Waters, an Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or anyone else that's just on the far left, anyone else that has Trump derangement syndrome, they have been programmed. Unfortunately, they've been duped. And for politicians to go on and say you shouldn't hear the president speak and address you himself, there's a problem with that. These people need to be voted out. This anti-Trump resistance from mainstream media to Hollywood is just getting old. They need to control, alt, delete. It's time to rebuild, rebrand yourself. Nobody wants to hear that hatred anymore. You guys are talking about anti-this, anti-that, resist Trump. It's all hate and negativity. You guys aren't going to move forward. You're just going to get more of President Trump, and I love it. So let's go. Trump 2020, MAGA.